So I want to provide some helpful hints when you're analyzing data. Interpolation is the first one.
One quick question that was left from the chat window, Dave. Sorry to interrupt before we jump to the next.
No,
Uh,
it's okay.
what topo or elevation data are you using as source data?
Oh, I've used a couple different sources in the absence of any RTK data with elevation. I've just gone out with a laser transit and used that in the field. Almost all the fields I've shown here today. That's how I did it. And so they were gridded in about a quarter-acre grid with a laser transit to the nearest inch.
Yeah.
If you have RTK, though, you can do the same thing and not have to go through the trauma that I did to get that data. So anything RTK could be very, very useful. If you have fields that have wide variations in elevation, you can use a digital elevation model. But if you're looking at fields with less than 10-foot elevation difference, I'd find those pretty useless.
Yeah. I think that's a good point and a potential for leveraging that data. Maybe it's there, but it's not processed. Let's say to use it. I don't know.
Yeah, if a farmer has auto steer and they're using that to control their tractor, or they have RTK with any kind of tool that they have on a farm, you should be able to extract an elevation from that too, because the receivers all have a Latin long, but they also have an elevation component with that too. The elevation is usually about 2 to 3 times the error of the Latin long, but it's still pretty good. So I find the RTK data really good here in the Red River Valley, which is extremely flat, one of the flattest places I've ever worked, where there's only a foot or two elevation difference between one side of the field and the other. But there are little bumps in the field that are very, very important, and RTK will pick that up. LiDAR data also. If you're unlucky enough to be in a flood zone like we are in the Red River Valley, LiDAR data also contains that elevation.